Good morning. My name is Data Diaz and I am from Clemson University. Today I will be presenting Understanding the Effects of Virtual Surroundings on Spatial Cognition and Memory, a pilot study. We can start to see more and more companies diving headfirst into creating environments dealing with virtual office spaces, fitness spaces, and much more. With the advent of virtual reality technologies in our daily lives, it is important that we truly understand how these environments can influence our performance. In this study, we focused on what is commonly known as the encoding specificity principle. We sought to find how different colored rooms affected performance like spatial cognition and memory among 10 participants. After analyzing our data, we found inconclusive evidence that color had any significant effect on spatial cognition or recall memory because we hit a ceiling effect. The literature for this study required some understanding of psychology and color. Experiments on rats by Watson and on humans by Abernathy, in which things like the orientation of the observer's environment found effects on memory and recall. A study by Godin and Baddeley required participants to learn a list of words underwater and tested how well they recalled the list. Results showed that those who recalled in the same environment performed better when recalling the list of words. In a study by Lloyd Jones and Nakabayashi, they overlaid fruits, vegetables, and common simple objects onto a simple colored or gray background. They found that correctly colored objects were recalled faster and that the color and object are binded together in memory. With this foundation, we sought out to find the answer to our research question. Does color of a virtual environment encode itself and affect performance, namely spatial cognition and object recall? For our study, we used an HTC Vive Pro with 4 tracking towers and a powerful enough computer to generate a comfortable VR experience. We had 7 rooms in total and each was strategically separated with 20 objects. The colors used were mainly primary colors. Some of the rooms can be seen in the centralized picture on the poster. We had a total of 10 participants between the ages of 18 to 24. We made sure not to take participants who were colorblind, had cognitive complications, or did not have 20/20 corrected vision. We made 2 custom questionnaires. These can be seen under the room's image in the center of the poster. One was for the memory recall of the objects in a list format. The other was for spatial recall in a top-down floor plan view to measure accuracy. We also used 2 verified and tested questionnaires to measure presence in the virtual environment. We started this study by presenting participants with a consent form. After signing, they filled out a demographic questionnaire that included their favorite color and gave them a brief description of the task. They were placed in a demo room to get acclimated to the virtual room size and feel. We placed them in a randomly generated room object group combination. They were given up to 5 minutes to remember what and where all the objects in the room were. When their time had elapsed, they were asked to list all the objects they could remember. After completion, they were given the placement questionnaire and given a list of the correct objects and asked to place them in the room by writing the item line number. After these 2 surveys, they were presented with both present surveys. Collectively, this was done after each room. After all rooms were completed, they did a post-survey, did a short qualitative interview, and got a debriefing. When it came to analyzing the results, we used a linear regression on the correctness of the participants' answer on the object recall and spatial placement questionnaires. We found a very weak positive correlation on room color and what they listed as their favorite color in the pre-survey. We also conducted a repeated measures ANOVA on each PANAS-GEN presence trait and performance by color of a room and found no uniform effect. When grouping performance by gender or room color as seen in the graphs, we also did not find a significant influence of color. Some participants noted that the testing became easier in the later trials. Repeated acclimation to the environment most likely attributed to highly successful performances. We did not give participants a break between being in the virtual environment and recalling. In the future, this study would benefit from an increase in difficulty resulting from giving participants mundane tasks between rooms to clear their short-term memory. We are currently working on redesigning and rerunning the study with an altered design. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation, and I look forward to your questions and suggestions.